I'm kind of working on this little series right now, and the next one I'm going to read is going to be the second installment, but this is the first one, and I guess it's loosely a series of poems that is about being grateful to be alive, but also sort of like grief and survivor's guilt in a way. But anyway, they personify life as an enemy of sorts. So I don't know, we're rolling with it. But the first one's called Live Wire. Life holds my head with two hands, talons spread wide with prey and clutch, aiming my face towards everything that is bleeding and burning and demands, "What do you see? What do you see?" I gag and choke and mutter anything I want. This is what my arrogance looks like. My arrogance does not walk me into a room and tell me that I'm the prettiest girl there. It has never hesitated to share a seat or a cigarette with a stranger. It does not look down. My arrogance does not tell me that I am better than anyone else. It tells me that I am better than myself. My arrogance thumbs through clips of me retching in unfamiliar places, of begging for rides and money and a place to crash, and chuckles, "How young we were." She looks at a mistake we have made and tells me it is impossible to do so again as she walks me up an unbraced ladder. She thinks that my scars are like my stretch marks and that something in me simply needed more room to grow, and yet nothing was ever born of the things she put in me. Back when I decided it was time to take a break from God, what I really wanted to see was if God believed in me too. Both times I tried to return myself to Cinder, he lost my letters, and then when the guardian angels of gas station tap water carried me all the way home from Georgia full of sickness and shackles, all my arrogance said was, "Love me more." That's all she ever says. Of all the violence I've witnessed in this life, my arrogance is the most profound. I have written more elegies than odes. My Punnett square is chain linked to my father in ashes. I know the difference between a garden and a graveyard better than most. And yet, my arrogance tells me that my silence is golden when I know that it is probably just brass. Today, my mediastinum delineates a preservation area of forgiveness, but my arrogance forgets why forgiveness was needed in the first place.
To be fair, I would have taken that.
Her face towards me, this time the barrel of a gun, asking me the only question that really matters, splintered into a million wavering facets, a riddle in every language I don't know how to speak. Who are you? Why are you here? How badly do you want to be? I know so many words it seems, yet they all evade me when I need them most. I've learned all about vanishing from some of my favorite people. I've opened fire into the afternoon sky, demanding their release. I have crawled towards it, intent to rip open the fabric of time and drag them all home. But the sky does not relent, so neither have I. I've been every kind of sick I know, but it's the getting better that counts in the end. I've turned every place there is to turn, heavily against myself some years, only to end up at each dead end. The drugs don't actually kill you most days, they just make you forget how to live. My will is intrinsically serrated. What I want is never what I actually want. So then what is a little more confusion, a little more grief, a knot in my neck perhaps, or a new twinge in my wrist maybe, when I am already a mason jar filled with the memories of better people who did not have the luck to survive themselves as I did. Tell me, by what kind of artifice, what law, what awful magic, what sleight of hand might loss eat for me today? Every wound in the earth I've peered inside has taught me a new name for hurt, a new place inside me which needed to be filled. So I have dug endlessly in this life, nail beds stained with the dirt I refuse to join, my fingers some nights mostly tombstones. At the end of the day, substance was always a cruel god, who ruled deftly and without forgiveness. It was a lonely way to worship. Prayers were each returned as blackbirds dissected before me, entrails forever revealing my every sin and shortcoming. Still today, my mouth fills with feathers each time I must ask for something that I need. All pain is reproducible, I say. Forever breeding greater and greater lines of succession, it is relief that is often difficult to come by. There are so many ways in which the body will ask for the things we can't. Lips turning blue to beg for breath, hearts speeding up to spill the blood they cannot find to hold, but I do none of these things instead. I spend my nights awake in my most dedicated study of what is wrong with others, and in the morning, the white lines of the highway drag me back home. I am clean in the way of an instrument which has been sterilized after many gruesome uses. I long ago buried the person I was when I was learning to survive, but I'll still bring flowers to her grave on occasion. Every graveyard on Gravois knows my name, but has finally stopped waiting for me to return their calls. I, too, once wrote love letters to drunk drivers and falling pianos. The guardian angels of gas station tap water carried me across 4 state lines just to drop me off at Kings Highway in Chippewa. I've been deep in gossip. I've lost entire years to breaking. And yet, today I choose not to take stock of myself by accounting for the things which are missing. Secrets demand space inside the body. I hide this one in my stomach like something which I must digest endlessly, like something I crave but can never taste. Carbon steel overwhelms my palate. Life, forever on her own terms, demands her answers at last. I tell her that I would flood Basin Street and brass for a soul like this one, gifting back the heart which I've been holding on to for a friend. Shaking and shimmying my way through the French Quarter, busking the electric violin for one last kiss. I tell her that I do not know the word for this bloody crusade in which I eternally war to stay where I am, but that it will always be one of the things I know best. I tell her she'll never catch me with clean hands. Appeased, she grants me another day. Thank you.